What's going on, guys? It's Mr. Doghead here, back with another Hypixel Skyblock episode, and in today's episode, we are going to be finishing up the mining collection. So let's get right into it. So we go over to the deep caverns, because that's where most of the mining stuff is. Not all of it's here, but most of it is. And so then we pull out our Skyblock menu. Let me put on my speedy armor. Nope, not teleport. Collections. Mining collection. Okay, you can go away. I can't aim. Wow, okay. And we left off at glowstone. So let's start up. Wait, why did I say we're finishing off the mining collection? We're gonna try to go through another row. It might take a little bit. We might be able to get through more because this row is kind of less important, but we'll see. Okay, so gold. So of course there's the gold minion, there's a cleaver, which is cool, not really worth it. I mean, it doesn't cost anything, but it's also not worth anything. So if you want it, you can get it. I mean, I guess it's a decent early game weapon because it's really cheap, but it also is not super helpful, and cleave is like the worst enchantment if you ask me. So there's a looting 2 book, portal to gold mine, which is nice, enchanted gold of course, absorption potion, which basically just gives you extra hearts, which is cool, I guess. I will say I don't use a lot of potions. At some point I'm gonna like go through the potions and say which ones are good and which ones are eh, but me personally don't really use a lot of potions, so I'm gonna say all potions are eh, to be honest, as of now, until I go through the potions and like get some outside advice. I probably will just say all the potions are eh. Okay, and then we have a scavenger 2 book, enchanted gold block, and fortune 2. So there's a lot of enchanted books here, which the enchanted books, if you ask me, they're not really worth it, because you can just wow, brain dead moment. You can just get those enchantments at the full level. So fortune 3, you can get it at the enchantment table for, I'm pretty sure, less the XP than it costs to put 2 fortune 2 books on it. I think. If I'm wrong about that, I'll say something in the next episode or something, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. But the enchanted books aren't like super expensive to make, if you do want to do those and not use the enchanting table. Okay, gravel collection. I have not maxed out this collection. I need to work on that. So there's a gravel minion, there's a flint shovel, which this is really nice because it gives you a 100% chance to get flint, and since you can't put fortune on a shovel in Skyblock, which is really stupid but you can't put fortune on a shovel in Skyblock, so this is the only shovel that can give you a 100% chance to get flint, but it's also super slow. So if you're going to use this shovel, I advise using it as a minion upgrade because it allows gravel minions to also always receive flint. So that's what I would use it for. And of course we have the portal to the spider den, which is where you find the majority of gravel. And enchanted book, sharpness 4. Enchanted flint, of course. First strike 3. Critical potion. Now I will say this one's actually not bad because it increases critical chance and critical damage. And so yeah, it's not terrible, but it's also eh. Especially since it costs gravel. It costs like flint or something to make. No. That was just cost a piece of flint and okay. Never mind, it's not actually super expensive. Anyways, and then you have the travel scroll to the spider's den and 5,000 mining XP, which maxing out the collection is nice, and getting the 5k mining XP is nice, so. And then we have hardstone. So you get hardstone in the crystal hollows. It's just all of the stone in the crystal hollows. All of it is hardstone, and you need a special pickaxe. I don't think the I think the titanium pickaxe is a high enough level, but neither of the mithril ones are. And so hardstone minion, the hardstone minion is really expensive to upgrade, because the first one is 32, and then the second one is 64, and then it starts getting to enchanted hardstone, and I'll tell you the problem with that once I get to it. So then you get the heat armor, which is pretty good, I would say, because it gives you 10 mining speed and 5 mining fortune. So that's nice. I don't know, I think this might be the armor that I use for mining, actually. Yeah, it is. It's the armor I use for mining, because it's like the best armor for mining, because glassite gives like only 10 mining speed and nothing else. So yeah, that's actually pretty good armor, and it's also pretty cheap. So that's good. And enchanted hardstone. So the reason I said enchanted hardstone is such annoying to get is because you need 9 stacks of hardstone to get 1 enchanted hardstone. Like, what is this scam? Like, bro, what? It's great. And we have the hot stuff Dwarven Forge recipe, which hot stuff is just gives increased mining speed the deeper you venture. And yeah, I don't really know what it does because I've never used it before. And then we have the Flamebreaker armor, which the Flamebreaker armor is definitely something you're going to want to get. But, with that being said, it also costs like 1,000,000 hardstone. Yeah, it's kind of dumb, to be honest, but it gives you 25 mining speed and 10 mining fortune, and then it also has 3 gemstone slots available. So it's really good armor to get, just not super easy armor to get. And then you have concentrated stone, which is 9 stacks of enchanted hardstone. That's super dumb. And then you have a silex, which it increases a pickaxe's efficiency by 1. Which this is actually really useful for dungeons because you can like skip through some puzzle rooms and you can get chests easier if you have an efficiency 10 golden pickaxe. But it's expensive. I never showed the recipe. It's expensive because each of those are 9 stacks of enchanted hardstone and each of those are 9 stacks of hardstone. And I don't think even the highest level minion works super fast. Oh no, it does 7 seconds. That's not bad. So, next up we have ice. Now, ice is actually a pretty good collection. I'll show why in a minute, but here we go. So, ice minion, of course. You have the enchanted books, packed ice, enchanted ice, magical water bucket, which is really cool. I love the magical water bucket, and it's super cheap. Basically, it never runs out of water. You can just keep placing it. You have the ice bait, which is cool, I guess. And then you have the glacial ring, which is nice because it gives you mining wisdom. I don't know why you need mining wisdom on Jerry's workshop. I don't even know where you mine. I guess you mine the ice. There you go. Yeah, you can mine ice. That's how you get ice to start with. You get it off of Jerry's workshop. That's the only way to get ice, besides buying it from a shop. But you can buy it from a shop, but you can't actually start making ice minions because you need 50 mined ice. And if you buy it from the shop and then place it down, it doesn't count. And then we have enchanted packed ice, the frozen scythe. So I've seen a lot of people use like the frozen scythe and then the upgraded version of this, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. And it does a pretty decent amount of damage. It's also so unbelievably expensive. This is a stack of enchanted packed ice, which is 160 enchanted ice, which is 160 normal ice. For a frozen scythe. And I know you guys are like, it only does 3,438 damage. Well, here, let me show you with my mage set on how much damage it does. Hopefully that updated. And now it does 8,000 damage. Okay, that's still really terrible. But I mean, I've seen people do like 100k damage with this. Well, I think with the upgraded version, not this one. I think I've seen people do like up to 40k with this one or something. So yeah, and then of course you have the glacial artifact, which is nice. It's just enchanted packed ice and glacial fragments. And the glacial ring is glacial fragments and enchanted ice. And I have a glacial talisman because I haven't been able to get glacial fragments yet. Because I think you get them from fishing or something. I'm not 100% sure on that one. And then the best part of this collection is the Frozen Blaze set. So basically, how the Frozen Blaze set works is that when you have the full set on, basically mobs that are in a 5-block range have damage dealt to them, which is 300 base damage plus 3% of their max health. I know you guys can read, I'm just verbally explaining it. Every second, because that's DPS every second, and then they also get slowness. And it's max 2400 damage per second if you have, I don't know the math for that, but I have it enough, I think. I think it's like 70 or 80k, or maybe it's 50k, I don't know. But yeah, if you're above 70 or 80k Blaze Rod collection, it's maxed out. But the reason this armor is so good is because when paired with the Blaze Pet, which I discussed back in my combat collection, because it's under the Blaze Rod, when paired with the Blaze Pet, all of these stats are doubled. So they each have 80 strength, and then they also take 2 gemstones, both are, well, one's combat, one's defense, I think. But yeah, so when paired with, let me just show you guys. No, not that collection. When paired with the Mystery Blaze Pet, it doesn't show it now, but one of the perks is that all Blaze Armor stats are doubled, and that includes Frozen Blaze Armor. And so the reason why that's so good is that just the stats, if this is like maxed out, it is slightly worse than full Necron armor, which is the dungeon armor above Shadow Assassin. It's like the damaged dungeon armor above Shadow Assassin. And you get Necron armor from floor 7 drops, and like nobody is really good at floor 7 actually getting like S and floor 7, so yeah, not easy to get at all. So I've been slowly working towards getting this, but it's also really expensive. It needs 4 stacks of enchanted packed ice, along with the blaze chestplate and blaze armor, which is 24 enchanted blaze rods, which that part is the enchanted blaze rods. If I put my blaze minions to it, it would take me like 20 days or something to get them. If I put my ice minions to it, it would take them like 100 days to get it. And so yeah, I've just been slowly collecting. I'm at about a half a stack of enchanted packed ice right now, I think. But it'll be a long process to get it, but it'll probably be worth it, because when I get the armor that could be upgraded into Necron, I'm probably going to upgrade it into Storm, which I'll explain that later once I go through those dungeon floors. Okay, we have the Augur Rod. Augur? I don't know how to say this. But yeah, this is a rod that's cool. I don't. You need the Yeti rod for this, which I don't really know. I think you have to fish it up or something. I don't know, craft it. I mean, you can't craft it, so yeah. I don't know how you get the Yeti rod, but it's something to do with Jerry's workshop. And so yeah, the Augur rod's nice, but it's difficult to get. And then of course we have the Glacial Scythe, which shoots. It's the same thing as the other scythe, and it's decent, but way too expensive. Like, way too expensive. Like, I would not, if you're doing Iron Man, I do not suggest it. If you're not doing Iron Man, you can buy it off the auction, and it's a pretty decent weapon, and you won't be disappointed because it's a pretty decent weapon. But if you're doing Iron Man, no, I don't suggest it. Too expensive to make, and besides, if you're getting ice, you're going to want to be putting it towards the frozen blaze set, not the glacial scythe. Because you'll probably get a Hyperion before you get that. And that's just is what it is. So, okay, Iron Collection. Iron Minion, Golem Hat, which is, it's cool, drops an iron ingot whenever you sneak every 5 seconds. Not super useful, to be honest. There's Prot 4, which I think Prot 4 is actually the highest level you can get. So this one might be worth it. Wait. Oh, no, never mind, I have Prot 5. This is 1.8, I forgot. But yeah, so Prot 4, kind of useless. Enchanted Iron, Budget Hopper, which basically, how the Budget Hopper works is, if a minion is full and it generates items, it'll automatically sell those items to like a villager. It's like basically like it's selling it to a villager. It's not actually selling it to a villager, but it's like it's selling it to the villager, and then I get half the profit. Is how this Budget Hopper works. There's an Enchanted Hopper that gives you 90% of the profit that I will discuss a little bit more in a second. There's Golem Armor, which I went for Golem Armor. It's not worth it. I mean, it's not super expensive, but by the time you get the resources for it, you're already going to be past Golem Armor. Because what I did was, I was like AFKing in the end, just waiting until a dragon spawned, and then I'd come back, fight the dragon, get the fragments, and by the time I had gone through all of that, Golem Armor was ready, and I was like, oh, I already have Dragon Armor ready in like a day or two later, and so the Golem Armor was worthless. So, I don't really advise doing it. If you want to like get all the armor sets, then go for it, but I don't advise it. And then of course we have Enchanted Iron Block, Golem Sword, which also went for this, and also realized that it's really bad because a Raider's Axe is better. I think. Yeah, it was a Raider's Axe, that was better. And so it's like cool, yada yada yada. I mean the Iron Punch is whatever, it's nice, but not really useful, to be honest. And it's also expensive, or it's 2 iron blocks, so 2 enchanted iron blocks, sorry, should just specify that. Okay, then of course we have the Enchanted Hopper, sells items for 90%, so this is very useful if you want to AFK minions and like have them make money, because it basically, if you put it in a slime minion, then it like generates a lot of money, and it's like really useful and helpful to do. So that's what the Enchanted Hopper does. It's really nice, really helpful. And then we have this personal deleter, which basically it automatically deletes whatever item that you give it on pickup. So I've never really seen the point in getting these besides using them as accessories and getting magical power. That's about the only point I've seen in getting these. And then this one has 3 slots, this one has 7 slots, and this one has, I don't even know, I haven't been able to get a fancy one yet. But yeah, basically that's how those work. So, they're not super helpful, per se. But if you want the extra magic power, go for it if you have the resources. If you don't have the resources, iron can I would say you should probably use the iron in Enchanted Hoppers, because that's a much better buy instead of the fancy personal deleters that you're never going to use. Okay, next up we have Lapis Minion, Experience Bottle, which is nice, you can just, it's a normal experience bottle and it's super cheap. And then we have a Lapis Pickaxe, which I never use this. Me now looking at the stats, without the ability is something that I got later, and that you won't have that. But me looking at the stats, This is not a bad pickaxe to start off with. And you just put lapis around an iron pickaxe and you get 40 extra mining speed. So, I mean, you lose 5 damage, but did you really need damage? I didn't think so. And so, grants 25% chance to gain double experience. So that's also really nice. And let's see here. So, enchanted lapis, of course. Grand experience bottle, which basically just gives you more experience than a normal experience bottle, and is crafted with enchanted lapis. I actually use this quite often, but I don't normally craft them. I get them from ender nodes, which are found in the end. It's the end stone that has the purple stuff around it. And so there we go. Experience potion, which basically just gives you more experience. It's cool, but not really useful, to be honest, unless you're just wanting to use every single potion. And if you want to, that's fine. It's a benefit. Just, if you ask me, not worth the time or effort. Of course, you have enchanted lapis blocks. You have Titanic experience bottle, which gives you like a ton of experience, and it's crafted with enchanted lapis lazuli blocks. And then you have the experience artifact, which is cool because it's an epic accessory, so it's really good for magic power. And of course, it gives you extra experience orbs, so I would not complain. I have one. It's really nice. I mean, it's a little expensive, but it's really nice. And then we have the textbook, which you're going to want to do this if you're going mage. So the textbook increases the pet's intelligence by 100%. And it's not super cheap, but it's also not super expensive. If you put a few lapis lazuli miners on it, then you'll get it pretty easily. Minions. Wow, nailed that. Anyways, but yeah, textbook, you use it on a sheep pet. If you have a sheep pet and you're going mage, use the textbook on it. It's just basic default increases the sheep pet's intelligence. And so that's good. Okay, now to Mithril. And this will be the last one for this episode. So we have the Mithril minion. We have the Spelunker potion, which is cool. It gives a mining fortune. It's pretty worthless because 20 extra mining fortune doesn't really help you that much. So yeah. Enchanted Mithril Crystal, which increases the speed of nearby mining minions by 10%, and its effective radius is actually really big, so I should probably be using these, but I can't be bothered, so yeah. I might end up start using those. Now, Mithril Coat, though, this is really important. It just costs, I can't do math, 32. It costs 32 enchanted Mithril. And basically, you're going to need this if you're going to get carried in Enderman Slayer, because the Endermen throw beacons that will insta-kill you. Well, with the Mithril Coat, any damage that taken, it can only be 40% of that person's health, and you gain regeneration when the ability activates. So that beacon that would insta-kill you, it only does 40% of your health. You can heal back up before he throws another beacon, because the Endermen don't throw them super quickly. At least through Enderman 4. I don't know about Enderman 5. I don't even think that's a thing yet. And then, of course, we have the Dwarven Super Compactor, which is cool because it smelts the materials and compacts them. So this is something that you would put in like a gold minion or an iron minion, because it would smelt the resources and then it would also compact them once there's enough. And basically it's made with a lot of mithril and an auto smelter and a super compactor. If it was just these two, then I would be like, yeah, it's worth it, because it's just combining the two. But no, you need like a lot of mithril, so it's not really worth it. And then there's the Mystery Mithril Golem pet, which gives you true defense, which is nice. I don't have one because I don't have it unlocked, but I would say that it's a nice minion, a nice pet. And once I get it unlocked, I'll probably definitely make one, but just to add to my pets menu and probably not actually use, because I haven't really found any really good use for it. And then there's Mithril Infusion, which you combine it with a minion in an anvil, and it permanently increases the speed of that minion by 10%. So it's cool. It's really expensive because you need a magma bucket, and how you get a magma bucket is you get 2 enchanted lava buckets, and you get a heat core, which you can buy a heat core with bits. That's the only way to get a heat core on Iron Man. If you're not on Iron Man, you can buy one off the auction. Not really expensive. But if you're on Iron Man, all you can do is buy it with bits. So it's cool, but really expensive, and not 10% is not much, to be honest. And then the last thing is a beacon. You can make a beacon, and it gives you buffs, and yeah, it's expensive. But I mean, if you want like speed on your island, and you can't fly, then maybe. But no, there's not really any point in it. Anyways, so that's gonna be it for the mining collections for today. The next episode, I will discuss the rest of the mining collections, because there's one that I haven't unlocked yet, and so I'll just do the other 9 or 8 or 7 or whatever there is. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are enjoying the collections, going through the collection series. After I'm done with this, I don't know what I'm gonna go to next, but probably I'm gonna rework all of the all the slayers, because now that I've gotten them to higher levels, I can show you guys better stuff that you can get from them, and so I'll probably go through those again. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do after that, but we'll figure it out. So anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!